Welcome to Sailing El Jaleo. I am a mid-40-year-old who in my early 40s became disillusioned with modern society and all of its promises and pitfalls. Feeling that life was getting a little too boring, I decided to do the logical thing, which is to buy a 40-year-old sailboat and spend the next 3 or 4 years converting it into a long-range, off-grid sailing vessel. Or it might have just been a midlife crisis, who knows. From there, I enlisted the help of my trusty crew, and we've been spending the last 3 years going up and down the east coast of the United States, learning how to sail, learning how to read charts, how to navigate, how to read tides, and basically just how to survive on a sailboat. From here, we plan on spending one more summer up north, doing one last round of upgrades before finally escaping the United States in late 2024 or early 2025. These are our adventures. Feel free to come along if you'd like. After spending a couple of weeks in our personal paradise of Prince Creek, it was time to get El Jaleo pointed north and get back on the road again. We needed one day to realign ourselves with the current, and then we could start making giant strides as we set our sights on our final destination of Delaware City, Delaware. I guess we might as well go ahead and get right into it. Grab a drink, climb aboard, and let's get going. The birds in Prince Creek gave us a wonderful send-off as we made final preparations to get underway. I think we're in good shape. Let's get it on. As we got underway again, we had to take a day to realign ourselves with the tides. If we tried to line up the tides or the currents where we were currently located, we'd have to wait about a week and a half. But by motoring around 8 miles, we were able to make it to a transition point where we could wait for the tide the next morning, and that just made the entire trip more efficient. So if we look at the map here, there is a long run between one inlet, which is down in this area, and then the next inlet, which is up north of North Myrtle Beach. So we had to make it that entire way. This one pin here is Prince Creek where we were located, and we just had to go up the Waccamaw a little bit, and here is one of the very last places that you can anchor in the Waccamaw before you enter into the Myrtle Beach area. So this is a man-made canal. It runs behind Myrtle Beach, and as you can see, it's just a very long, narrow, thin canal, and there's nowhere to anchor in there. Now there are a ton of marinas if you want to fork out $100+ for a marina, but that's not really our style. So, and the very next place you can anchor is up here in Calabash Creek, and we wanted to make it all that way in one run. And if we bit the bullet and just went from Prince Creek up to this anchorage here, then we could realign ourselves with the current the next day. We would be going with the current for 6 hours, and that would allow us to make it up to north of North Myrtle Beach in that actually took us about 8 hours, but still, we were with the current most of the way, which was awesome. After fighting against the current for 3.5 hours, we finally made it to what I now know is called the Enterprise Oxbow anchorage. And we fought against the current so we could realign ourselves with the current the following morning to get a boost all the way up to Calabash Creek. And we wanted to get to this anchorage early because it is one of the last anchorages before you enter Myrtle Beach, and we wanted to make sure we had a spot, or there was space available when we got there.
my drinks down in the club. I always keep that shit on top. My piece flash like a disco ball. I dance like I don't give a fuck. I flush my drinks down in the club. If it's me that you need, I always keep that shit on top. You know I don't pick up the call. My piece flash like a disco ball, and I've been stalling for weeks. I dance like I don't give a fuck. When the sky falls.
Now that we had realigned ourselves with the tides, we were in a really good spot because the transition point between inlets, there's an inlet by Winyah Bay and then there's an inlet by Calabash Creek. I'm not sure the names of those inlets offhand. But the transition point between those two inlets, the current transition point, is only a couple of miles away from where we were anchored. And it's a little bit closer to the Socastee Swing Bridge. So the tide was still coming in at this point, so we could ride that current for about the next 45 minutes until we got to that transition point, and we timed it just right so that the current would reverse just as we were hitting that transition, and then we could ride the current almost all of the way out to Calabash Creek where we planned on anchoring that night. And this is one of my favorite parts of the Intracoastal Waterway. It's kind of counterintuitive. I like off the beaten path places. I like places where I won't see humans for days. I really love those places. And this is one of the busier parts of the Intracoastal Waterway. It's basically just a little ditch or a little canal that goes behind Myrtle Beach and goes through North Myrtle Beach. But I love it for a couple of reasons. It's there's a lot going on. It's very visually appealing. There's lots of houses and golf courses, and the people are very interactive. You can wave at people out on the golf course and they'll wave back. It's just a neat area, and lots of neat houses, lots of new architectural designs and stuff, which I love seeing. And also, I'm a loser. I'm a dork. I'm a Pokemon Go player. What can I say? And through this stretch of the Intracoastal Waterway, for those of you that are in the know, you can actually get quite a few spinners, and I think there are 3 or 4 gyms I can hit too from the actual Intracoastal Waterway. And I think I can get around 30 spinners going through this area, which is awesome. It gives me something to do while we're motoring along. And also there are a couple of swing bridges, which is always fun. And the great thing about them is they are on demand. And then also there is the rock pile, which is the section of the Intracoastal Waterway that's blasted out of solid rock. And there are a couple of narrow areas, so you do have to be a little bit more careful there. So there's always something going on, whether it's, houses, golf courses, Pokemon Go, rock pile, swing bridge. It's just a very active area, and it actually makes the day what would be a long day. And not that I dislike, long days out in the middle of nowhere. I love those too, but this is just a nice change of pace. It's a very active area, and I really like it. And that's all we have time for this week. I would like to give a massive shout out to my Patreon crew. Without your guys' support, I wouldn't make these videos. And my Patreon crew is Joan and Juddy Judnick, Val and Chris Alcorn, Denise and Eli Sackett, Sherry Erickson, Deb Shaw, Matthew Spotton, Peter Allen, and Natalie Linehan. Thank you guys so very much. Your support really means the world to me. I do have one legacy patron member, and her name is Joan Linbo. Unfortunately, she has passed on, but she lives on in our hearts forever. We really miss you, Joan. If you are interested in joining our Patreon crew, there is a link in the description down below, and that'll take you to our Patreon page where you can sign up. And there are hundreds, literally hundreds of extra videos and photos of our travels, and I try and keep everything there up to date and post at least once or twice a week, so it gives you a little peek behind the curtain. If you do like our videos, please like, comment, and subscribe. That'll help us out more than you'll ever know, and that actually doesn't cost you anything, so hit that like button. Alrighty, I hope you all are well, and we'll see you next week.